So today we had a big announcement. We have a new Star Wars Hunters game coming from Zynga. As you can see from the trailer here, it's got some, a set of 4 new characters they're showing early on. They're claiming it's a 4 versus 4 real-time strategy game. They didn't really go any more into detail than that. Looks like there's a Jedi lightsaber there in the background. So they have a little Star Wars site here where they talk a little bit about the game. Zynga is the publisher. If you don't remember Zynga, it goes back quite a ways, back to the early Facebook days, actually, with Farmville. And actually, I've been playing a game that they've created for the Harry Potter universe. It's a match 3 game, but it's probably one of the most polished match 3s I've seen. And oddly, it's probably one of the most, liberal in terms of giving you daily things to do and always having something in the game to keep you active, which is cool. So I think if I hadn't played that game, I'd be a little bit more apprehensive about Zynga doing it. Zynga, I think maybe the publisher in this case. It looks like there's another company, I think it's something Motion Games, who are helping make it. So it'll be interesting, right? It's going to be on the Switch and on mobile devices. So I think my initial thoughts was like, oh, a 4 versus 4 real-time game, that would be really cool. I think Rogue Company is the first thing that popped in my head because I think that would be a neat game in the Star Wars universe. It's a 4 versus 4. There's different arenas. You try to capture a point. I could see how synergies between characters would be really interesting, and I think that would be something along those lines. Now, I don't think that's probably what the game will be. I think it will probably more, it'll probably be closer to a MOBA than it actually will be any kind of, a fast-paced action game, especially being that it has to be on mobile. That's not to say it couldn't be. I mean, Call of Duty Mobile is by far one of the biggest games on mobile today. It has a huge following and a huge, subreddit community. I mean, you name it, that game has it. It's completely mobile. Obviously built on the back of the Call of Duty franchise, but that's to say, I mean, Star Wars is a huge IP, and seeing other companies finally come into the fray and finally start creating new content in the Star Wars universe, to me, is exciting. EA has had a stranglehold on this license for years. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so Star Wars Battlefront to me is one that the first one I really enjoyed, and I thought it was really well done and polished. The second one came out, and they had tons of issues. I think the community manager managed to get the most downvoted comment ever in Reddit history with some of the back and forth with the community. Really, really mismanaged out the gate. They did right the ship, I guess, to an extent. I've played it as much in the past. I guess a year or so that I did when it first came out, but from what I've heard, that game has made a lot of progress, and that's good. But EA, again, has had that stranglehold on that game, and players have been clamoring. Let other companies, let other studios come in and build some new games and see where they can take this universe. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this game goes, what it looks like, and what they actually do with it. Some things I would expect in a game like this. It said in this press release, I think at the bottom here, it'll be free on the Nintendo Switch and Apple and Google Play stores. It does not require a Nintendo Switch online membership to download and play. I would still expect this game to have some sort of seasonal pass. I would expect that. That seems to be the norm. There'll be some leveling mechanics. There'll be some probably, cosmetic things you can probably get for your characters. I'm hoping to see some new innovation here. Most games these days have this sort of, I guess it's almost like a box of stuff they roll out into a game, and that becomes the game. Oh, you have to have a leveling system, and you have to have a battle pass, and you have to have all this stuff. Look, it's going to be monetized. I get it. I think the Harry Potter Match 3 game I mentioned before has a really good balance. Like, it has a thing where every day they award you so much time to play. They'll give you 15 minutes the first day. If you keep playing the second day, you get 30 minutes, and then 45 minutes. And at the end of the week, you have almost an hour of free gameplay time where you won't lose, your hearts or lives or whatever it is. In the Match 3 world, that would be how long you can play the game. And that's a definite divergence from when they originally came out, and you either bought, more lives, or you sat there and waited, 10 minutes between life. They've innovated and they've made that better. So can Zynga and this other company do that with this game? I hope so. I hope that it being the Star Wars moniker and having that label on it, they're going to spend a lot of time to make sure they get it right. So it looks like this may have been started development back in 2018. I read that the actual contract with Star Wars and Lucasfilm was signed 2 years ago. So they've obviously been, this game's been in play for a couple years. If it's coming out this year, so we'll see. The press release is very thin. They said it'll be after the fall of the Galactic Empire. They'll connect in a real-time battle arena setting inspired by iconic Star Wars locales. Play as a daring bounty hunter, heroes of the rebellion, and Imperial stormtrooper in an action game that immerses players in a fast-paced, visual, stunning Star Wars conflict. So that could be anything, right? That could be, like I said, the Rogue Company type of gameplay, maybe more polished and frenetic. It could be more the MOBA based, where you're 4 people in sort of a smaller arena, trying to jockey for position and capture resources, and there's like different power ups in the character. Who knows, right? It'll be exciting to see where it goes as more information comes out. So, what does that mean for Galaxy of Heroes? I think that's one of the questions I've been pondering about today. Galaxy of Heroes is an EA property. We all talk about CG and the company that built it, and obviously they're the ones we I guess impose our wrath when we're upset with how things are going. But it's competition, right? And competition breeds innovation, and also, well, CG won't have a choice but to react to this in some form or fashion. As more games enter the market, especially more mobile games enter the market, there, I think I was watching Arnold's video, and he mentioned that Zynga doesn't go into the market for less than whatever was $1 million or $1 billion or whatever the number was dollars, right? Well, that money is competition for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and that means they're going to have to react to it, and they're going to have to come up with some ways to incentivize people to stick around. So this happened when Marvel was not Conquest of Champion, Marvel Strike Force came out, right? When it first came out, no one really knew what was going to happen with Strike Force. CG was pretty nice to community. All of a sudden we started seeing a little bit better deals in the stores. We started seeing some new characters rolled out. We saw some new modes. I don't know if that was when the Sith raid came out, but you could definitely tell they were reacting. They engaged with the community more. And then when it came out, and then things kind of settled back down, the communication kind of went back out a little bit. The game slowed down massively. They did do a complete rewrite of a bunch of backend systems last year. I get it, right? So it's hard to put it all, it's hard to kind of pull it all apart. But I think the short of it is there was a reaction, right? And I think that's what's going to be interesting about this game coming in Galaxy Heroes in the state it is today. I think that for a lot of players, especially longtime players such as myself, who don't spend a lot in the game, I'm actually a free-to-play player. I don't spend anything in the game. I think it's going to be interesting for us to see, are they going to loosen up on some of the the gear requirements? I'm currently working on Jedi Master Luke, and me getting those characters to get to gear 13 to start relicking them up, like, it's painful. And they've really not added a lot in terms of I guess niceties to the game to make it where it's easier for players to move players forward. I will say they did a great job with older characters earlier this year, doubling up the shard counts. I've been doing another video series on kind of working through how the Phoenix Squad works and some of the details there. I'll put a link up above if you're interested in seeing that. But it's been interesting. It's been interesting to see how fast you can take a Phoenix team, in a matter of a month, right? You've got a full 7-star Phoenix team, Grand Admiral Thrawn and Emperor Palpatine, and that's amazing compared to where the game was when the game first released. So that said, those are all great things for the new incoming players. The Hyperdrive bundle for people who are spenders, getting them up and running. Again, those are great things for people who are starting the game, and obviously that's where CG has been focused on, right? They want to continue to gain new members to feed people who leave the game. But now they have another elephant in the room. They've got to deal with this player entering the arena, and deal with, like, okay, now I've got to deal with people leaving my game, but I've also got to deal with this new monster. And as a Star Wars fan, which probably most people who play Galaxy of Heroes are, like, that's where they're going to go try. And if this game has any kind, they all compete for your screen time, right? YouTube competes for it, TV, Netflix, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, any game on your phone, they're all competing for your attention. And any time you take away from this game is taking attention away from Galaxy of Heroes, which takes away money. And that's at the bottom line. At the end of the day, what CG and EA care about is that. And so they're going to combat it. It's just going to be interesting to see how do they do it? Are they going to give us better deals? Are they going to give us a better cadence for characters? Are they going to let us start relicking up characters quicker? That doesn't solve problems for people who spend, people who are already at the end game, people who've already got characters already relicked up. So they've got to feed new content, and I know they got this new game mode coming, and that may help. But is a game mode really going to compete if it's an engaging, good experience from a competitor? I don't know. Time will tell. I just know that as a Galaxy of Heroes fan, as a Star Wars fan, this is good for us. Good for us as a community. Competition in the community is going to do nothing but breed better things for us at the end of the day. Or it could just be, they do nothing, which maybe they don't do anything, and then then they let the game kind of wither away. I don't think that will happen. This game makes too much money. There's too many smart people working at these companies to allow that to happen. So anyways, that is the video for today. I wanted to talk about that game. Obviously, there'll be more coming out with this new IP. I'm curious to see where it goes. We'll have more details, obviously, as it continues to news cycle, I guess, if you will, continues to dump information out into the community. So anyways, what are your thoughts on the new game? Do you think it's going to be something that will take your time away from Galaxy of Heroes? If it's a good, solid Star Wars game, would you play it? Do you think would it make you want to quit Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? I've been playing this game for 5 years. You know, I don't really see a 4 versus 4 shooter pulling my attention away from this game, because this is something I can do on my downtime. You know, I spend maybe an hour a day between the whole day, you know, doing Grand Arena or leveling up a few characters or whatever I'm up to in the game at the current time. There's room in my schedule to squeeze in another game. There's some other games I've been playing I'll be doing videos on soon. But all that said, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen with the game? Do you think you'll be one of the people who are hoping this hurts? I don't want to say hurts, but encourages CG. What would you like to see CG do? What are some things that CG could do as these new IPs start rolling out? And this is just the first, right? Like, it's obvious Star Wars and Lucasfilm want these games to be spread out to more publishers. I don't know if there was fallout from the other games that led to this, or they, you know, hey. It all comes back to money, right? And Disney's going to get theirs. And if Disney thinks more publishers in the game makes them more money, that's what they're going to do. So here we are. Tell me below what you think. I'm interested to see. If you haven't subscribed, if you like the content, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And you know, we'll keep watching the game and we'll follow up. And then hopefully we'll have some gameplay in the not too distant future. They said 2021, so we're already 2 months in, if you can believe that. And anyways, I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you guys in the next video.